my dog are on the way to my parents' house, but I have this message I kind of want to share with you guys that was a huge mistake that I think really attributed to why my complete recovery took so long. And don't worry, I have my phone on my stand. I am 100% focused on the road, so I'm not going to be making eye contact with the camera with you guys, I guess. The number one mistake I made when I was recovering, you guys, was definitely trying so hard to recover. And what I mean by this is I went to all the therapists, all the counseling, read all the books, guys, all the freaking books on normal eating and intuitive eating, how to be a normal eater. I did all the hunger scales, all the journal prompts about eating. I watched all the videos about how to recover from eating disorders, how to, how to lose weight with intuitive eating. Like, I did all of that, guys. And by doing that, I kept focusing on the lack. I kept focusing on, I have an eating disorder, and it kept me in that narrative. When things started to change for me was when I just got sick of it. And it was kind of like this light bulb moment where I told myself, Lady, recovered you would not be reading all these books. Recovered you would not be going to like every single counselor 5 times a week with 5 different people or whatever. Like, recovered you would be living her life, going dancing, going to have some margaritas with some friends, going to vacation, spending time with her family, doing hobbies, doing YouTube videos. Like, it was kind of like that moment of aha, like I spent so much time trying to recover and kept telling myself, I have an eating disorder, and I need to recover. And then what clicked for me was like, I'm going to let all this go. I'm not going to buy another book about intuitive eating. I'm not going to listen to another video about recovering from eating disorders. I'm just done with that. And instead, I bought books about things that interested me, like psychology or self-help. At the time, it was finance books. I bought books about, fiction books and rom-coms. I started watching movies instead of watching YouTube videos about recovery. And obviously it didn't happen overnight, but that was transformational for my recovery. It was actually when I did start to recover, because the vision I had for myself is Leydi would be living her life, and her eating disorder and her weight issues and her body dysmorphia would just be like a thing of the past. And not to say that those things didn't help me, because they did. Every coach I had, every guide that I had, every counselor, therapist, every book, it guided me to ultimately that decision, right? That kind of aha moment. But and I did learn things that, some things I didn't like at the time when I was reading, other things I did, other things that stuck with me. But I say all that to say, this isn't to say that those things don't matter. If you need help, you definitely should be talking to a therapist or a counselor or a nutritionist or dietitian. If the journal prompts help you, keep doing them. Keep doing it. If hunger scales, I'm so against hunger scales, me personally, but that's just my opinion. If hunger scales are genuinely helping you, please keep doing it. But there comes to a point where it's like you're doing too much, that it's actually getting further and further away from you. Complete recovery is getting further and further away from you because you're focusing on the lag, you're focusing on that narrative. And sometimes you just need to kind of let go. And I can say that applies to so many things in your life. The more that you chase something that you really want, the further it gets away from you, right? So please, just, if you're at a point now where you're just like, I'm just sick of this. I am tired. I've watched every fucking YouTube video. I've read every single book about intuitive eating. I've went to every coach. I'm tired. I'm sick of this. Then yes, if you're sick of all that, if you're tired of this and you're bored with your life of just having to read about recovery, intuitive eating, and all of that, let that shit go. Seriously, let that shit go and live your life. But replace all those things with, you know what? Instead of maybe I'm at a point, and I'm not discouraging therapy, because therapy helped me a lot. And if you need therapy, please continue going to therapy. But maybe you're like, maybe I don't need a therapist, to guide me through like my eating disorder. I kind of need like a therapist to guide me through, my inner child work, or somebody that focuses on that, or my daddy issues, or whatever, I just get the help that you need if you definitely need it, but don't just stay stuck there thinking that you have to do something or you're not going to recover. It should be intuitive. You should feel inclined to do it. You should feel motivated to do it, and not even motivated, because sometimes you have to do things because you need to, but you need to make sure that you're not doing it because you think that you should, or that you should be doing it. That you will reach a time where it's like, okay, I'm done with that. I think I'm good. I'm ready to move on with my life. That literally was my biggest problem. Was I was reading all these books about intuitive eating and normal eating, and filling out all these journal prompts, and it just left me frustrated, and I got sick of it. But I kept doing it, forcing myself to do it, but I was sick of it. I was sick of all of it. And I remember one time I actually went to my therapist. My therapist was actually the one that's why I'm not discouraging therapy, but I also think like there's a time and a place where you're like, okay, I think I'm okay for now. But I remember there was this one session, and I think this attributed to this aha moment, because I went into my therapist session, had like 9 or 10 books stuffed in my bag of intuitive eating, and I came to the session ready to talk about intuitive eating and how I'm trying to recover, whatever. And I remember like just unbagging, or like taking all my books from my bag, and my therapist said, "Whoa, those are a lot of books." I'm like, "Yeah, these are all my books about intuitive eating." And she's like, and then she said, "Lady, don't you think that maybe this is too much? that like you're doing too much. Let's be simple. Let's start from the very foundational thing of what's going on." And then when she said like, "This is just too much pressure, this is a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself, reading everything you can about intuitive eating," I was like, you know what, you're right. So, and I was like, you know what, I'm ready to move on with my life. I'm ready to go dancing. I'm ready to just, I am gaining weight. It sucks, but I'm just ready to live my life and to really give it my all with recovery. Recovery is not easy. I wish there was an easier way, but recovery is not easy, especially when you're going through the weight gain process. That was the hardest thing for me to deal with, was the weight gain process, and none of my clothes fitting, my face getting fuller, people commenting on my weight that I hadn't seen in a long time, my family, and it sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. And I'll make sure to, what is this card doing? I'll make sure to do a video going more in detail about that. I've made videos before, but I kind of want to do like a revamped version of it. It's not easy, guys, but it is worth it. I promise you it is worth it. 1000%. I would go through all of that again and some, because it's just so worth it, and everything happened for a reason. Your body doesn't just gain weight for shits and giggles. But anyway, analyze your life. If you're at a point where you're just sick of all the research and trying to recover and nothing's working, it's time to let that shit go and take the recovery off the pedestal. Not saying you need to like stop recovery. You definitely do, if you need it, but take it off the pedestal and replace things by living your life. So instead of, like I said, instead of buying another book about normal eating or another journal about, a journal prompt for journaling what I'm eating or whatever, I instead bought a book about finances, because my finances were suffering at that time. Suffering. I was spending so much money. It wasn't even funny. Got so much into debt. I'm still paying for that now. But I bought books about finances. I started going to acting classes, and I started, instead of like meeting up friends for like a workouts or whatever, I would meet up friends for coffee and talk about life and boys and whatever. So I hope this makes sense. I always say like recovery should always be happening in the background. That's how I want you guys to look at this. Once recovery is happening in the background for you, not to say that it's, you're not going to have the thoughts and about, your weight, you're going to feel fat, and like the negative thoughts unfortunately will be loud and proud at the very, very beginning. There's no way around that. You kind of just have to allow them to be there and observe them. I'm going to make a video about how to treat negative thoughts during this process, and how I did it, at least, and what helped me. But the negative thoughts will be there, but it's more so how you react to them. How are you going to react off them, or are you going to allow the emotion to be there, sit with those feelings, and then still move forward? Because it's not about the thoughts we think, it's about our reaction to those thoughts. And are we going to allow them to are we going to take action on those thoughts? So with that being said, I hope this helps, and let me know what you guys think.